We got the game of the year so far coming on today. Of course, London game starts in an hour and a half for you guys. That should be fun. Of course, we'll go through the Toy Story thing, all that shenanigans too. We got a pretty fun Sunday football. Also, the game, the two teams that probably everyone really likes. I don't know. Patriots and Cowboys, that's the game. It's supposed to be the game of the week. Either way, though, huge Sunday of football, week 4. Let's go. And first, London game. Please like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed the week 4th NFL Sunday preview. Obviously, there is a game in London on 9:30 a.m. That's why this video is coming out 2 hours earlier. But yeah, we'll talk about the pregame shows, obviously. So, Sunday NFL Countdown starts at 8. No, I think it's 8:30. Yeah, 8:30 is when it starts. So, yeah, it's going to start soon. The other pregame show starts at 8 a.m. So, basically right now. NFL Game Day Morning, as usual, starts at 9 a.m. Fantasy Football now, 11 a.m. on ESPN 2, so if you want to get your fantasy thing, same thing with Fantasy Football pregame on Peacock. Fox and Rose Sunday, and Fox NFL kickoff, 11 and 12. And then the NFL Today, of course, at noon Eastern. But, yeah, you can just stay tuned for that London game, obviously. There's going to be some bizarre stuff going on with ESPN. I'll stay tuned for that. And for more on that information, let's get right into it with the Falcons and Jags game info. First of 2 straight weeks for the Jags in London, and we got some bizarre things going on in the land of Toy Story as well.
And score, live and unpredictable. Plus a special halftime show featuring Duke Kaboom performing an incredible motorcycle jump. Buzz, Woody, and all their friends.
Yeah, that'll probably give you a little bit of a gist of what this game's going to be like. Yup, the Falcons and Jags from London, the first London game of the year. Yup, it's at 9:30 in the morning. That's when it starts. It's on ESPN Plus and Disney Plus as well if you want to watch it on there. The countdown starts at 8:30 a.m. on ESPN, and then I think the kickoff's also on ESPN, so if you want to watch that for whatever reason. But the actual game is at 9:30, and I think that the Toy Story thing starts 5 minutes earlier than the game starts. It's like 9:25, so for any kids that want to watch this, I guess, then yeah, like it starts 5 minutes earlier for whatever reason. Yeah, but on the actual teams and not the Toy Story theme, obviously the Falcons 2-1 coming this game off the tough loss against the Lions. They're going to look to bounce back against the Jaguars team that has played pretty bad offense the past 2 weeks at home. Really not great. They're going to really need a bounce back this week, obviously. But they have it's 2 back-to-back games in London for them, so that is pretty cool. We'll see how they can play through that. Obviously, these 2 teams played back in 2019. The Falcons won 24-12, I think. Yeah, definitely very different rosters, obviously, now, though. Announcing this game will be Chris Fowler, Dan Orlovsky, Louis Riddick, Little Rutledge, so their second team. JB Shradick and James Lofton are on Westwood 1 as well for this game. Again, it's on ESPN Plus as well. Just remember, it's only on ESPN Plus, or Disney Plus, whatever the two. So if you don't have that, well, might we consider getting the Disney bundle. As well, the weather in London for basically, let's say 10 a.m. It's going to be cloudy. Obviously, I think this is Tottenham Hotspur, if I'm not wrong. 66 degrees. It's, again, soccer field as well. A little humid, but it's going to be 9 miles per hour wind. So it should be pretty decent weather here in London. Teams have usually been able to score here. It's never been like something where teams have gotten like shut out or anything. So, I mean, there have been some bad games in London, but this game should be another competitive one. It might not be the most exciting game, but let's just wait and see. Falcons and Jags from London. Here are the Falcons starting lineups. Alright, for the Falcons, Desmond Ridder, quarterback, Tyler Heineke, backer, Bijan Robinson, Tyler June in the backfield, Cordell Patterson, questionable, Avery Williams, Penny Hart, Matt Hennessy, Ethan Greenidge, Adekunbo Ogundenji, and Ikamanu Kwananu are all on IR. Drake London, Matt Collins, and Kadero Hodge, receiver, Josh Alley is out. Kyle Pitts and Jonathan Smith, the tight end. Keith Smith is their fullback. Jake Matthews to Matthew Bergeron, Drew Dahlman, Chris Lynch from Campbell Gary across the offensive line. Calais Campbell, David Anyamata and Grady Jarrett at defense tackle with Arnold Ibikiti, D'Angelo Malone, Lorenzo Carter, Bobby free off the edge. Caden Ellis and Nate Landman are the linebackers with A.J. Terrell, D. Alford, Jeff Okuda, and Trey Flowers at corner with Jesse Bates and Richard Grant at safety. Young Oku's their kicker, Bradley Pinion's their punter, D. Alford's their punter return. Their kicker return is questionable again. So we could see Mike Hughes, and obviously Liam McColl's their long snapper. And for the Jags, Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, Jeff Etienne Jr., Tank Bigsby in the backfield, Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones is out, Jamal Agnew is again questionable, Evan Ingram and Luke Farrell tight end, Jalen Moore, Leonard Taylor, basically Cam Robinson, Cooper Hodges, Devon Hamilton, Ventrell Miller, Gregory Jr. all on IR. Locker Little, Ben Barge, Luke Forner, Brandon Scherf, and Cole Van Lanen might start because Anton Harrison is questionable. Adam Gotsis, Lorenzo Fatakasi is questionable. Jeremiah Ledbetter might start. Roy Robinson is also there. Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker out the edge. Floyd say Lil Kong, Devin Willey is questionable. He's out, so you'll probably see Chad Mamba start. My bad. Tyson Campbell, Trey Herndon, and Darius Williams, receiver. At corner. Antonio Johnson, the safety, and Chris Claybrooks, the corner, are both out. Rashawn Jenkins and Andrew Sisko are the safeties. Brandon McManus is your kicker. Logan Cook is your punter. Jamal Agnew is questionable. Parker Washington might get those duties. And, of course, Ross Magic is your long snapper as well. Alright, and for the keys of the game for this Falcons offense, I want them to run the ball outside 10-plus times in the first half. Again, that seems like a lot, but again, Tyler Algier really didn't get too many opportunities last week for whatever reason. They got to get back to that. Get the ball on screens more often to Bijan. He only got 2 screen catches last week. It just didn't work out there. Desmond has to be hit his second read in stride. It's always been either back, shoulder, or something off like that. He's got to get to his read quicker there. And 5+ targets for Kyle Pitts, because I'm going to be honest, he was really the only bright spot last week on offense, considering he only put up 6 points. Defensively, force Trevor to run the ball to gain yardage on third down. Don't give him anything through the air. Keep everything in front of you too. Again, these receivers can't get over the top. Against the grain off play action as well, you got to be very careful with what is called the way he's gonna try. He's gonna try to fit the ball into windows outside the numbers. Obviously, again against the design of the play. So just be aware of that. And again, 3+10 yard runs for Travis Etienne. That's what we want to stop. Time for the Jags. Alright, Jags offensively, Trevor Lawrence has to have under 40 pass attempts. I just don't think that's a good thing for him. Just keep dropping back. He didn't look good in London last year either. 30+ first downs, which is a ton, but I think they can do that. And Calvin really getting 2 touchdowns would be huge for this offense as well. Again, it's going to be tough for this Jags offense, but if they can really drain the clock like they want to, it's going to be really hard for that Falcons offense to really do what they want to. Defensively, keep the offense under 2 yards under 2 yards per attempt. Obviously, that's for the offensive line. Those defensive guys have to really step up. More or less the defensive linemen, linebackers as well, but they got to get in there quick. Roy Robinson has to penetrate better. He really hasn't done too much of that the first 3 weeks of the season. He has been a little better against the run, but he just got to penetrate more. And no blunders and deep coverage from Darius Williams. Of course, that happened last week. Of course, the Tank Dale touchdown. Can't have that happen this week. And that's all I got for the NFL Funday Toy Store game thing. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the game. Obviously, it starts soon. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, let's get to the next game, Ravens and Browns. Let's get the 1 o'clock window. Yep, it's a battle for, is it? Honestly, I don't know. It's just a battle for first place in the AFC North. Let me think about this. Okay, the Ravens, have they played a game in the division yet? Yeah, they have. They're 1-0. Wait, who did the oh, wait, never mind. This is, well, I guess this is. No, it kind of isn't. Whatever. This is basically a battle for first place in the AFC North. Obviously, the Browns have we'll get to Deshaun Watson later, but yeah, there's an issue there. Obviously, the Ravens are coming this one at 2-1. They come up with a really bad loss against the Colts. They should have won that game for sure. But nevertheless, they go into Cleveland where they've had success in the past. Last year, they lost, but the 2 years before that, I mean, they literally saved their season back in 2020. But again, the last 2 seasons haven't been as nice, obviously. That's 20 and 21. That basically ended their season when Lamar got injured his ankle, and then obviously, last year they only put up 3 points in a miserable 13-3 game that was somehow on a Saturday afternoon. Whatever. Now they play again. Yeah, they rematch basically. Again, the game's at 1 o'clock on CBS, NFL Plus, Paramount Plus, other streaming services for this game as well as NFL Sunday Ticket. Again, you could be getting a little bit of crowd. It could fluctuate. Whatever. It's kind of weird with that. Announcing this game will be Ian Eagle, Charles Davis, and Washburn. So it is a B game, but it's probably the best B game of the week. Steve Levy and Harry Douglas are on ESPN Radio for this game as well. The weather, it's going to be 71 degrees. It's going to be a little windy, but it should be really solid weather here for this game in Cleveland. Again, it could be like a little, I won't say brisk, but it could be a little raw at some points during this game. But yeah, should be a nice day for this one. Let's get right into the Ravens starting lineup. For Baltimore, Lamar will start. Justice Hill's questionable in the backfield, but he's sure to go. Gus Edwards is, again, still there, though. Kean Mitchell, J.K. Dobbins, Tylen Wallace, and Malik Ham all on IR. Yeah. But Zay Flowers so healthy, but Nelson Aguilar and Devin Duvernay will be their only other healthy receivers, with Odell Beckham Jr. and Rashad Bateman both being out. Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely at tight end. Tyler Reichardt, their fullback. Ronnie Stanley's doubtful. Patrick McCurry will probably start there again. John Simpson, Tyler Linderbaum, the center is questionable. Sam Mustard will probably start again. Andrew Voorhees. Bro, what is up with him? Oh, again, he tore his ACL. Whatever. I'll stop saying his name. Whatever. Either way, though, Kevin Zeitler, Morgan Most across the offensive line, the rest of the offensive line, Justin Madubuike, Michael Pearson, Broward, Washington up the middle, Adafe Away, and David Ojabo, their 2 starting editors are both there, but J.D. Van Clowney and Tavius Robinson off the edge are still there. Tyus Ballinger is still out, Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen at linebacker with Brandon Stevens, Ronald Darby and Rocky Scene at cornerback with Marlon Humphrey out, and both starting safeties questionable. Geno Stone might have to, will probably play anyway. Justin Tucker, Jordan Stout, kicker, punter, Devin Duvernay, returner, and Taylor Otts, the long snapper. Nick Moore is out. Still have too many injuries. For Cleveland, again, Deshaun Watson is questionable. Jerome Ford, Fremont in the backfield. Jakeem Grant Sr., Dawson Deaton, Jack Conklin, Jordan Kozniak, and Thomas Graham Jr. are all on IR. Mark Cooper, Elijah Moore, and Donovan Peoples-Jones, the receiver. Michael Woods is out. David Njoku, Harrison Bryant, tight end, Jody Poles Jr., Joe Petonio, Ethan Pokick, Wyatt Taylor, and DeJuan Jones across the offensive line. Drew Forbes is out. Miles Garrett, Ovo Karanquo, and Zadarius Smith, and Kyle right off the edge. Dylan and Jordan Elliott are the defensive tackles with J.O.K., Anthony Walker Jr., Sione Takitaki at linebacker, Denzel Ward, Martin Emerson Jr. and Greg Newsome are the corners with Juan Thornhill and Grant Delpit at safety. Dustin Hopkins is your kicker. Corey Bawarkas is your punter. Don Peoples-Jones and Pierce Jr. are returners with Charlie Hewitt doing the long snapping. All right, Ravens offensively, Lamar has to have 3+ 20-yard runs while sliding, not getting killed. Again, that would be huge because he has been able to light up this Browns defense on the ground before. Zay Flowers, 7+ targets, get him the football is literally your only option. And don't go for it when you don't need to. Please just don't. Like last week was just ridiculous. Again, I get that it was PI, but you just don't need to go for that. And 35+ minutes of possession time as well will get a really good shot at you guys winning. Because look at the Browns last week. Again, it's going to be hard to move the ball in this defense, but if you're able to at least convert third downs, that would be huge. Defensively, they'll force Deshaun Watson to take some deep shots towards the middle of the field again with his arm all screwed up. That's not a good thing, but if you make him throw it there, he'll have some good advantages. Avoid man-to-man, man press on third down. You just don't have the corners for that. And no Jerome Ford long runs from between the tackles. That will kill you, and it will start to wear on you as the game goes along. Time for the Browns. All right, Browns offensively, Jerome Ford, 5+ catches, give him the ball in the flat. He can make plays. Don Peoples-Jones, 1+ 50-yard play. He just has to be explosive. And Deshaun Watson rushing touchdown would be cool, whether it's QB sneak or something. I just want to see him get in the end zone that way. Defensively, Sione Takitaki can't bite on play action. Please just don't. It happened last week. Just don't. Again, it wasn't that big of a deal, but yeah, that's kind of what I got. Soft coverage on Zay Flowers with J.O.K. and Spy / money linebacker. Basically, he's just doing the will position. Yeah, he's just got to make sure that Lamar doesn't have any shenanigans, and yeah, then Denzel Ward on Zay Flowers, and they should be good. That's all I got for the Ravens and Browns. Let's get to another game. Steelers and Texans. Steelers probably the best chance of getting the first in the division after this game. All right, for the Steelers and the Texans, again, these two teams haven't played in 2 years, I think. Wait, they didn't play last year, right? No, they didn't. They didn't play in 2021. Yeah, they played back in 2020. The Steelers won. It was back with Big Bad. Steelers won 28-21. The Texans and Steelers haven't played here, I think, since 2017, when the Steelers won. I think it was on Christmas, 31-6. It was a blowout. But then again, these two teams come in a very different situation. Obviously, the Steelers coming off a big win against the Raiders on Sunday night, but they're playing against a Texans team that's really hot, coming off a huge win against the 20-point blowout win against the Jags. Well, I don't say blowout, whatever. Steelers shot look incredible. He's been the best rookie so far this season. Obviously, Kenny Pickett looked pretty good last week. Both these teams are trying to get a big win. Again, Texans trying to stay hot. Steelers are trying to make it 3 straight wins after that blowout week 1 loss. The game's at 1 o'clock on CBS, NO Plus, Paramount Plus, our streaming services, YouTube TV again with the NFL Sunday Ticket. Announcing this game, where is it? Spiro Diaz, Adam Archuleta, and Amanda Renner. So it is a C game, but it's not like a terrible game per se. Like the game we're about to get into. But that's really what I got for this game. Again, both these teams are trying to win. Steelers actually, with the Browns loss, and if they just figure it out, they will actually get the first in this division. I mean, even if the Browns win, they just can't have the Ravens win, because if the Ravens win, they'll actually probably still be in the division. Yeah, because they'll be undefeated in the division. Yeah. No, wait. If the Steelers win, they'll be first in the division. What am I saying? Yeah, no matter what, I think. Right? No, they'll be 1-1. Well, I'm confusing myself. Yeah. They need them, and then they need a Browns win for them to get it. So, which is kind of weird. But yeah, that's why I got for the Steelers. Time for the Steelers starting lineup. And for Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett, quarterback, Mitch Trubisky is his backup. Najee Harris, Jalen Warren are in the backfield. Anthony McFarland Jr., Deontay Johnson, Rennell Wren, Cameron Hayward, Japel Russell, and Cody Trice Jr. are all on IR. George Pickens, Allen Robinson, and Calvin Allison at receiver with Pat Frymuth, Darnell Washington, Connor Hayward at receiver. Dan Moore Jr., Isaac Salamalu, Mason Cole, James Daniels is out, Nate Hayberg will start, and Shmuel Okfor across the offensive line. Larry Ogunjobi, Montavious Adams, and DeMarvion Leal are the defensive linemen with T.J. Watt, Alex Hutchinson, Marcus Golden, and Nick Herbig off the edge. Quan Alexander, Cole Holcomb at linebacker. linebacker. Levi Wallace, James Pierre, Patrick Sullivan, Joey Porter Jr. at corner, with Minka Fitzpatrick and Keanu Neal at safety. Chris Boswell is their kicker. Presley Harvin is out of punter, so we will see probably Brad Wing. Calvin Austin, Gunnar Olszewski are the returners, with Christian Kuntz at long snapper. All right, for the Texans, C.J. Stroud at quarterback, Dameon Pierce, Devin Singletary in the backfield, Nico Collins, Robert Woods, Tank Dell receiver, Jesse Matthews, Noah Brown, Troy Hairston, Titus Howard, Drew Scruggs, DJ Scaffe Jr., Hassan Reddick, Hassan Ridgeway, and Derek Stanley Jr. all on IR. Dalton Schultz, Steven Quintariano at tight end. Andrew Beckett and Dalton Schultz are the tight ends, so it's fullback tandem. Laramie Tunsil, Josh Jones are both out, so we'll probably see Kendrick Green and Nick Brocker. What is it called? Michael Dieter is questionable. Jared Patterson is his backup. Shaq Mason, George Fan across the offensive line as well. Will Anderson, Jerry Hughes, and Jonathan Grenard off the edge. Sharon Rankin and Malik Collins up the middle. Christian Harris. What is it called? Devin Perriman's out. Henry 202 will probably start. Blake Cashman at linebacker with Shaq Griffin, Steven Nelson at corner. Severe Thomas is out. Jimmy Ward and Jalen Petrie finally both healthy. Cameron Fairbairn is the kicker. Ty Zentner is your punter. Your returners are Tank Dell and Mike Boone. John Weeks is your long snapper. All right, Steelers offensively, the run game has to stop sucking. It's just been so bad this year. Stop being that bad. Broderick Jones, 85+% pass rush win rate. That's more Daniel Moore Jr. My bad, I forgot I wasn't starting. Kenny needs to have 75+ yards in the fourth quarter. Please just don't fall asleep like last week. Defensively, don't get caught up in C.J. Stroud's shenanigans with his eyes. He's going to move the safeties a lot. He's going to try to get those passes to the outside of the field and up the numbers. Just don't let him do that for those safeties. Again, really Minka. You just can't be too aggressive. T.J. Watt and Alex Heisman, 5+ sacks. They got to get a ton of pressure. I think they will be able to with this really bad offensive line. In under 25 minutes of possession time as well would be really a good help for them. Let's talk at the Texans now. Texans-wise, Tank Dell, 3+ deep targets, 20+ air yards. He got downfield really well, climbed really good on those deep routes. Nico Collins, 5+ red zone targets. He's been really good there. And keep the play action rate up. Again, it doesn't have to be as high as particularly last week, but it's still got to be pretty high because that's how CJ is going to be able to use the what's called use his head better. Texans defense, Jonathan Grenard attacking from the outside shoulder. He's been really explosive there, and also I don't know a guy who's just like gonna just move him because he is a really aggressive guy. It's like basically think of like a Venus flytrap, just like that's kind of what Jonathan Grenard does in terms of like you just don't want to like basically engage with him. Give Kenny the outside shoulder on the fades to against Steven Nelson. He'll just knock the ball away. It won't end well for Kenny at all. And 2+ turnovers as well should give them a good shot to win. Think of what happened back in week 1 with that 49ers defense again. They're not even close to as good as that was, but they forced a couple turnovers last week and you saw what happened. So see if they can do it again. Now let's get to the Tank Bowl. Alright, we're not doing the montage for this, but for the recap, you bet we're doing the montage. But yeah, here we go. Tank Bowl! Broncos and Bears, let's go. Both teams are 0-3. I really don't care who the hell wins this, obviously. But I'm going to guess the winner of this game will not get the #1 pick. Well, maybe the Bears will. But yeah, whatever. Both these teams suck. Their defenses are terrible. Their offenses are almost as bad. Maybe the Broncos is, and actually statistically they're actually pretty good this year. But that's statistics. Either way, though, the game's at 1 o'clock on CBS. NFL Plus and Paramount Plus are your streaming services for this Tank Bowl game, as well as NFL Sunday Ticket. Announcing this game, the Tank Bowl announcers. Who are they? No, it's up here somewhere. Where is it? Oh, yeah, Andrew Catalan, Jiggy Barber, Matt Ryan, A.J. Ross. So somehow in the hell it's a B game, but it's not. The weather, it's going to be pretty nice, which sucks because I want it to be stormy. I want it to be like that. That's either way. That's all I got for the Tank Bowl, guys. It's a terrible game. Time for the Broncos starting lineup. All right, for the Broncos, Russ will start. Javonte Williams, Samaje Perine in the back to Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Brandon Johnson, Marvin Mims Jr. receiver, Tim Patrick, Jalen Virgil, Greg Dulcich, Alex Pileski, Jonas Griffith, Uwika, K'Wan Williams, Caden Stearns, PJ Locke, all on IR. Adam Trautman, Chris Manhurt's a tight end. Michael Burton is their fullback. Garrett Bowles, Ben Powers, Lloyd Cushenberry, Quinn Miners, Mike McGlinchey across the offensive line, Jonathan Harris, DJ Jones, Dak Allen across the defensive line, Randy Gregory, Nick Benito, Jonathan Cooper off the edge, Frank Clark is out, Josie Jewell is out as well, Baron Brown is also out, Justin Strand, probably Drew Sanders will see, Alex Singleton at linebacker. Patrick Tan II, Sing Bassi, Damari Mathis at corner, with Justin Simmons is questionable. J.L. Skinner is also there. Kareem Jackson is the other safety. Will Lutz is their kicker. Riley Patterson, Dixon is their punter. Marvin Mims Jr. is their returner. And Mitchell Frabani is their long snapper. And for Chicago, Justin Fields, the quarterback. Nathan Peterman will probably start after, though. Khalil Herbert and Roshan Johnson in the backfield. Travis Homer is questionable. Joe Reed, Tevin Jenkins, Braxton Jones, Doug Kramer. Khalid, Kareem, Buddy Johnson, Josh Blackwell all on IR. DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool at receiver, Cole Clement and Robert Tonyan at tight end. Kari Blastingham at fullback, Larry Borum, Cody Whitehair, Louis Patrick, Nate Davis, and John Wright across the offensive line. Yannick Ngakoue, Rasheem Green, Dominic Robinson, DeMarcus Walker off the edge. Justin Jones, Andrew Billings up the middle. T.J. Edwards remain. Edmonds and Jack Sanborn, a linebacker. Jalen Johnson is out. Terrell Smith, Greg Stroman Jr., and Charlie Stevenson at corner. Eddie Jackson's out. Elijah Hicks will start, and Quan Brisker is a strong safety. Kyril Santos is your punter, your kicker. Your punter is Trent Gill. Trent Taylor, Tyler Scott are your returners with Spider Skills, a long snapper. And for the Tank Bowl, Broncos offense, Javonte Williams, 20-plus carries. Give him a down ball. 5+ play action, deep shot designs. They work really well. That's kind of about the best thing I can say about this offense. And Marvin Mims Jr., 10+ targets because he's been their most explosive player so far. Broncos defense, don't become the 2019 Falcons because it can't be worse. Yeah. If you don't remember the Falcons, again, I made a video about them, like, I think a couple years ago. Yeah, they had, like, a really bad game against the Texans, and they got lit up by Kyler Murray, and then they were really bad until like week 9, where 10 or something, where something weird happened. They were actually good against like I think the Seahawks. They weren't that good, but then they played really well against Saints. But please don't have that happen. That's how I'll put it. Time for the Bears. All right, Bears offense, got to run the freaking ball. You haven't done really any of that. I don't care about just run the darn ball, please. Bears defense forced Russ to get to his third read. He hasn't really had to do much of that this year, and for bad or good reasons. Make rim scramble, interior penetration. He's not going to do too much there. No big plays, 60-yard touchdowns, because that's really the only thing that his offense has been able to do this year. That's all I got for the Tank Bowl. Time for the Bengals and Titans. Much more dominating matchup. I really don't know how to put it this way. It's going to be pretty darn boring. Alright, the Bengals head to Nashville, where they've dominated the past 3 games under Joe Burrow. Of course, they're 3-0 against the Titans in his career. Of course, back in 2020, they shocked the Titans after 31-20 in what was basically a trap game. Of course, won in the divisional in which their defense forced, I think, 4 turnovers and 3 interceptions. And obviously, last year they won 20-16 on the back of some Titan blunders. Either way, though, of course, the 75-yard Derrick Henry touchdown as well. It's been pretty wild. Of course, the Bengals have had the right end of the stick, though. But this season, both these teams have been pretty bad offensively. There's no way around it. Both these defensive, though, have had their ups and downs for sure. Again, the game's at 1 o'clock on Fox, Fox Sports app, NFL Plus, and then YouTube TV, or your streaming services, or whatever, how you're going to watch this game. Yeah, again, the Bengals coming off that saving their season against the Rams. Titans, on the other hand, they got blown out against the Browns. They only have 94 yards total offense. Pretty bad. And, announcing this game will be, where is it? When I get to it. Yeah, Adam and Mark Sawyer's Garcia Bank. So it is a B game. It's a pretty high-profile game, to be honest. The game's at 1 o'clock. Again, on 1 o'clock. It should be sunny. Again, pretty decent weather. Going to be a little hotter than usual, though, in Nashville. So just stay tuned for that. Let's get right into the Bengals starting lineup. All right, for the Bengals, Joe Burrow, quarterback, Joe Mixon, Trayvon Williams in the backfield, Jamar Chase, Higgins, Tyler Boyd, a receiver, Irv Jr. is out, Charlie Jones is also on IR, as well as Devon Cochran, and Devonna Shaw, Maxwell. Again, with Drew Sample probably going to start. Orlando Brown Jr., Cordell Volson, Ted Karras, Alex Cappa, Jonah Williams across the defensive line. Sam Hubbard, DJ Reader, Cam Sable, Joseph Osai, Trey Henderson, BJ Hill across the defensive line. Logan Wilson, Jermaine Pratt, Akeem Davis Gaither's questionable. You could see Marcus Bailey starting. Chidobe Awuzie, DJ Turner, Cam Taylor, Britt at corner, and Mike Hill as well. Dax Hill, Nick Scott at safety. Evan McPherson is your kicker. Their punter is Brad Robinson, and Irwin Chris Evans are the returners, with Cal Dominus doing the long snapping. Meanwhile, for Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill, quarterback, Derrick Henry, Tajay Spears, and back from Hassan Haskins, Julius Chestnut, Kyle Phillips, Kyrus Jackson, Nicholas Petitfrere, Shaquille Brown, Mike Brown, on IR. DeAndre Hopkins, Traylon Burks is out, and this week Westbrook, probably Chris Moore at receiver. Chizo Okonkwo, Trayvon Wesco at tight end. Andre Dillard and Peter Chauncey's out. Another week, David Newman will start. Aaron Brewer, Dana Brunskill, and Chris Hubbard across the rest of the offensive line. Jeffrey Simmons, here, Anthony Audrey, both questionable. Kyle Becko and Naquan Jones are their backups. Harold Landry, Arden Key, Rashad Weaver, Travis Gibson off the edge. Jack Gibbons and Aziz Al-Shatter at linebacker. At depth piece, Luke Gifford is out. Sean Murphy Bunting, Roger McCreary, and Christian Full in the corner. Elijah Molden is out. And same with Caleb Farley at safety. Corner and basically safety. Amani Hooker and Kevin Byard at safety as well. Nick Folk is your punter. Your punter is your kicker. Your punter is Ryan Stonehouse. Mason Kingsley and Tajay Spears are your returners, with Morgan Cox again at long snapper. All right, for this Bengals team offensively, I want them to check down check down Charlie. Joe Burrow, if you're gonna be check down Charlie, please have a really completion percentage. That's kind of how it works. And contain Harold Landry and Nico Autry, more or less Harold Landry, because he actually really stepped it up last week. Chips and rotations, double teams, whatever you need to do. And yeah, 1 + 25-yard play / plays. Hint. That would be awesome. Defensively, though, do what you've done. done to Tannehill since Joe Burrow has arrived. Destroy him. Blitz early, obviously, that's really how you stop him, and make Diop win deep. If you can't win deep, your corners are basically just have a vacation, basically. Time for the Titans. In regards to Tennessee, 30-plus Derrick Henry touches, I think, needs to be a big factor. Again, he only really had, like, really any shortest shot last season in week 12, where he actually got touches against his team. He's got to show up this week. Ryan Tannehill, 3-plus 40-yard completions, which is not going to be easy, but he's got to at least take something downfield. And Nick Westbrook, yeah, him, 5-plus targets. Again, I talked crap about him in the past. I'm still not totally in on it, but he's played well so far this season. Defensively, don't give him more than 18 points. You look at all their losses, they give them more than 18 points. I think somehow, yeah, I think they'll be able to win if they gave up less than that. And that's all I got for them. Now let's get to the Rams game. All right, the Rams head to Indy for their second time in the last 2 years. Of course, the Colts, on the other hand, are very hopeful. Anthony AR is back. Of course, they've gotten back-to-back wins with Gardner Minshew basically starting. They blew out the Texans 31-20, I think was the final score back in week 2. And then last week, they won in overtime on the back of Rams former kicker Matt Gay, who's been fantastic for them so far. Rams, on the other hand, they lost back-to-back games. Of course, it was a tough fight against 49ers, but last week really got me mad because they didn't run the ball at all. I don't know. There is something you could say, oh yeah, maybe Jonathan Taylor, but I really don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, though, they got to run the ball much more than they did last week. And no Matt Stafford turnovers. The offensive line should be better, though. They should be, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, the Rams played back here in 2021. They nearly escaped with a 27-24 win. Of course, Matt Stafford heroics. Cooper Kupp lit them up. The game's at 1 o'clock on Fox, NFL Plus, and Fox Sports app are your streaming services for this game. Announcing this game is Kenny Albert and Jonathan Miller Chance Bake, so it is a B game. And yeah, that's basically all I got for that one. Let's get right into the Rams starting lineup. And for LA, Matt Stafford, quarterback, Stetson Bennett still out. Cameron Williams, Ronnie Rivers, Zach Evans in the backfield. Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell, Van Jefferson, receiver. Ben Skoranek is questionable. Cooper Kupp set to return next week, but he's still on IR. Hunter Long, O'Shea Mathis, Jason Taylor, the second are all on IR again. Tyler Higbee's questionable. Bryson Hopkins, you could see starting, as well as Davis Allen. Alex Jackson still questionable. Joe Newcomb will probably get in there if he doesn't. Probably more like Tremaine Ingram. Steve Avila, Ryan Allen, and Joe Newcomb, and Rob Havenstein across the defensive line. Jordan Williams, Bobby Brown III, and Aaron Donald at line across the defensive line. Byron Young, Michael Hoyt off the edge with Christian Roseman and Ernest Jones at linebacker. Darren Kendrick, Kelly Witherspoon, Kobe Durant at corner. Duke Shelley's also there. Russ East and Jordan Fuller at safety. Brett Maher is their kicker. Their punter is Ethan Evans. Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams are their returners, with Alex Ward doing the long snapping. And meanwhile for Indy, Anthony Richardson, quarterback, Sam Miller is questionable. Jonathan Taylor is again on the PUP list. Zach Moss and Trey Sermon in the backfield. Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, and Josh Downs a receiver. Ashton Dillon and Danny Pinter, Jake Witt on IR. Colin Cranston and Mo Ali Cox are the tight ends. Bernard Raymond is out. Arnold Arlington Hambright might start. Probably more like Blake Freeland though. Quentin Nelson's also questionable. Again, Wesley French will start at center forward. Ryan Kelly, Wolf Rise, and Braden Smith are the other offensive linemen. Quiddy Pay, DeForest Buckner's questionable. Tavon Bryan might start, as well as Grover Stewart. John Avery, Titus Leo, and Daniel Scott are also all on IR. Samson Ebukam and Dale Odeyingbo and Tyquan Lewis also off the edge. Shaquille Leonard, Zaire Franklin, EJ Speed at linebacker. Kenny Moore, the second. Dallas Flowers, Juju Brents at corner. Ronnie Thomas, Julian Blackman at safety. Matt Gay is your kicker. Your punter is Rigoberto Sanchez. Isaiah McKenzie, Dallas Flowers, returner, with Luke Rhodes doing the long snapping. Alright, it's pretty short for the Rams, but they got to run the damn ball and get the ball to Puka more. Again, last week, there were some unfortunate plays there, but they got to try. At least you got to like get him the ball. And obviously run the damn ball too, because 14 runs is not going to get it done. Defensively, bend, don't break. Again, why I say bed? I don't want no bed. I want to bend. I don't want to bed. Ha ha ha. But yeah, they gotta play more bend, don't break, obviously. 3+ sacks would be big. Kobe Durant pick 6. Again, that doesn't seem like realistic, but it still gotta happen. And don't let the crossers, shallow ones specifically beat you early. Again, that's a huge part of that Colts passing game, and yeah, that did kill them last time they played them too. So I got for the Rams, time for the Colts. And meanwhile for Indy, basically one of the main things I gotta say about them is run the ball 30+ times is a big part of it. Again, they're gonna have to keep that run game up. Put the onus on the big bros again for that offensive line. And Gardner Minshew extending plays as well would be a huge factor for them. Defensively, they'll force 2+ turnovers. I want to see how they can how much they can do with that, and obviously get into third down if anything. And no big plays from Tutu Atwell. They do have the edge rushers to do that, but if Tutu Atwell does get a big play, he will start getting going, and you won't be able to stop him because you really don't have a corner that can't, outside of maybe Kenny Moore, but he's really not a boundary guy. So got there. Time for another guy winless matchup, Vikings and Panthers. Alright, the Vikings head to Carolina to face the Panthers. You have Bryce Young back, yes, but it's a battle of 0-3 football teams. Of course, the Vikings had a similar type of game back in 2021. maybe back in 2020 where they were able to figure it out and win 31-23 against the Texans. Dalvin Cook had a massive game. Now they face a Panther squad that is pretty desperate, obviously. They had a tough loss last week again without Bryce Young. Vikings, meanwhile, they've lost all their games by at least one score, and by one score, and then, of course, these teams played, not last year, but 2 years before that, again, fantastic finishes. 28-27 win for the Panthers back in, Vikings back in 2020, and then 2021 they won in overtime as well. So, pretty big game, obviously. The game's at 1 o'clock on Fox Sports app, NOL Plus, or in YouTube TV, are your streaming services for this game. Alex Foss, Brady Quinn, Megan O'Leary, so it is the CFC games for this one as well. The 78 degrees, again, this is for 2 o'clock, mind you. Wind in the 90 miles an hour, so it should be a little windy, but outside of that, it should be a pretty nice day in Carolina. Let's get right to the Vikings starting lineup. For the Vikings, Kirk Cousins, quarterback, Jaron Hall is questionable, Keenan Wangu, Jalen Naylor, Soma Uda, James Hurst, William Kanuku on IR, Alex Madison, Cam Akers in the backfield, Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne, and Jordan Addison, a receiver. TJ Hawkinson, Josh Oliver at tight end. Malik Knowles is out. CJ Ham is their fullback. Christian Darris at Edwards of Cleveland. Greater Bradbury is questionable. Austin Schlottman behind him. Chris Reed is out. Ed Ingram and Brian Neal across the offensive line as well. Dean Lowry, Harrison Phillips, Jonathan Ballard across the offensive line. Dino Hunter, Pat Jones, Marcus Davenport, questionable. Dino G. want him off the edge. Ivan Case Jr. and Jordan Hicks, the linebacker, Caleb Evans, Janet Booth Jr., and Byron Murphy Jr. at corner. Lucine is out. Harrison Smith and Cameron Bynum at safety. Greg Joseph, Ryan Wright, Brandon Powell, Tyler Chandler, and of course, are the special teamers with Andrew DePaula doing the long snapping. Okay, for the Panthers, Bryce Young at quarterback, Andy Dalton is back, and Miles Sanders is questionable. Chuba Hubbard is in the backfield as well. Adam Thielen, G.J. Chark, John Mingo is questionable. Terrace Marshall Jr. might get the start as well. Hayden Hurst, Ian Thomas at tight end. Ken McQuano is Jander Savala. Bradley Bozeman, Calvin Throckmorton, Taylor Moan across the offensive line. Austin Corbett is out. Brady Christensen is also on IR. Deshaun Williams, Shai Tuttle, Derek Brown across the defensive line. Henry Anderson and Marcus St. Jr., Shaq Thompson, and J.C. Horn all on IR. Brian Burns and Justin Houston off the edge. Trey Grossman is also there. Frankie Luvu is questionable. We could see Deion Jones starting. Cameron Greer-Hale is also there. Deontay Jackson, Jeremy Chin, Troy Hill, and C.J. Henderson at corner. Sam Franklin Jr. and Von Bell at safety. Eddie Pinheiro is your kicker. Johnny Heckers your punter. Rasheed Blackshear is your returner. And J.J. Jansen's your long snapper. Alright, looking at this Vikings offense, I just think they just can't choke. I really do think they'll have a very easy time against this secondary to move the football. Like, they're just not that great right now. So, offensively, they should have a really good day, but they just can't really sell it all. Again, in the red zone, just do your thing. Defensively, you've been so bad, I don't really know what the hell you're supposed to do. But at least work the other side of Daniil to get quick and disruptive pressure. Daniil Hunter is going to get double and triple teams. He's been arguably the most dominant player on defense this year, at least underrated-wise. Again, they've been so bad, I just don't know what else to say, though. Like, again, that's basically the best I can give you guys. Time for the Panthers. Alright, for Carolina, run the ball over 40 times. Again, that's a lot, but I really do think they're going to have to do that if they want to win this game. Play action off of it as well with Bryce Young, quick throws, and 30-plus points. They almost did it last week with a backup. Why can't they do it with Bryce Young? Defensively, though, under 25 minutes on the field, I think would be a big part as well. They haven't been particularly good, but I think they'll be okay. And without giving up 300 yards to Kirk Cousins, which no defense is done yet. We'll see if they can do it. Time for the Bucs and Saints. Alright, basically, I don't know. Is this a battle? No, this is probably a battle for first place in the NFC South. I think it is. Is it? Let me think. It is, yeah. Okay, Bucs and Saints, obviously. Both these teams started out 2-0, coming off pretty tough losses. Of course, the Bucs, they just simply got blown out. Saints, on the other hand, they kind of blew a huge lead. Derek Carr's questionable. Probably not going to play, but we'll have to wait and see. Of course, both these teams last year when they played, I think, yeah. The Bucs swept them. Of course, they're 16-0 comeback, and of course the infamous 3-interception Jameis Winston game. But that very different teams now getting the games 1 o'clock on Fox Sports app, and with us, UTV are streaming services for this game. Announcing this game will be Chris Myers, Robert Smith, and Jen Hill. So it is a C game. I wouldn't expect it to be the most exciting game, but it is a battle for first place in the NFC South, nevertheless. And if you're wondering why I didn't talk about Mike Evans versus Marshawn Lattimore, you'll see in a second. Either way, though, what is called Baker Mayfield, Rashad White, Sean Tucker in the backfield. Chase Edmonds is on IR as well as Russell Gage, Ryan Jensen, soon to be Mike Evans. And yeah, I'll probably be suspended either way. Chris Godwin, Trey Palmer, receiver. Kade Kokiva, tight end. Tristan Wirfs, Matt Filer, Robert Hainsey, Cody Machi, Luke Gadikia across the offensive line. Elijah Cansey is out. Mike Green will probably start. Vita Vea is also questionable. Greg Gaines could start. And as well, Logan Cox, Logan Hall, probably more William Golson than Mike Green, though. Devin White's questionable. KJ Britt might start. KJ Britt, and of course, Ray Dennis is out. Levante Davis also there. Shaq Leonard, Shaq Barrett, and Anthony Nelson also off the edge. Jamel Dean is out, but Carlton Davis is questionable. Donnie McCollum also there. Derek Pitts is out. Christian Eisen will probably start again. Ryan Neal and Antoine Winfield Jr. at safety. Chase McLaughlin is your kicker. Your punter is Jake Marta. Devin Tompkins is the returner. And Zach Trent is their long snapper. Saints-wise, Derek Carr again is questionable. I'm going to say he's not going to play, but we'll have to wait and see. Jameis Winston, of course, is there as well. Jamal Williams, Trey Turner, Peyton Turner, Andrew Dowell, and Marcus Bell basically on the IR. Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara again is back. Tony Jones Jr. also in the backfield as well. Kendrick Miller, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, and Rashid Shaheed at receiver. Jawan Johnson, Foster Moreau is questionable. Jimmy Graham also there. Adam Prince is at fullback. Trevor Penning, James Hurst, Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz is out. Nick Salvadori, and Ryan Ramchick across the offensive line. Cam Jordan, Tano Caspigan, Isaiah Foskey, and Carl Granderson off the edge. Nathan Shepard and Kalen Saunders up the middle. Pete Warner, Demario Davis, and Zach Bond on the linebackers. Paulson Dabo is out. Isaac Yadam, Marshawn Lattimore, and Alante Taylor at corner. Jordan Howden is out. Jake Guerrero probably at the start as well as again Tyrann Mathieu. Blake Groupie is your punter. Your punter is Lou Headley. Rashid Shaheed is your returner with Zach Wood at the long snap position. Alright, offensively the Bucs. Baker has to bounce back. I don't think it needs to be anything crazy, but he's got to be more efficient. He's got to hit those throws over the middle. Run the ball in the red zone. It's like it really was a mess last week. And 3+ targets for Mike Evans on the first drive. You know why. Bucs defense, ignore what happens on the other side of the ball. Please don't get in the fight. Keep Jameis in the pocket as well. Again, last year you just didn't really do that. You did that and he really struggled. No Michael Pittman, Thomas wide open catches either. Of course, he smoked you guys back in 2019. Honestly, that's really the last game he did anything against you guys. Now let's talk about the Saints. Saints offense, Alvin Kamara is back. 20+ touches, 120+ yards, and 1+ total touchdowns. He does that. He'll have a great game. They'll have a great offensive day. Saints defense, well, it's UFC 294. Marshawn Lattimore versus Big Mike, and it's not paid for you. Yup, it's free. At least if you have TV. Either way, though, yeah, that's all I got for the Saints. Let's get into the first doubleheader game. Remember last year, Eagles? Yeah, you were undefeated then. What happened? You guys weren't undefeated. Same thing now? Well, what happens? Commander scores coming off a tough loss. We'll see what happens. Alright, and from Philly, we've got a showdown between the Commanders and Eagles. Obviously, Commanders, yeah. Last week was not it. Losing to the Bills, of course. 37-3 was final score. Sam Howell threw 4 picks, actually. Jesus. Also had another turnover, so the team as a whole had 5 turnovers. The offensive line sucked. Yeah, it was a bad week for the Commanders. Meanwhile, again, the Eagles starting out 3-0. Kind of business as usual, except Jalen Hurts just hasn't really looked the same. Also, again, yeah, it hasn't been great on offense per se. But yeah, they're still 3-0. They blew up the Bucs last week. But last year, if you remember, the Commanders came in here at 4-5 and knocked off an Eagles squad. So who knows what will happen? Again, it is the NFL on Fox Doubleheader Game 1. Again, Week 4 doubleheader. So we get again, it's on Fox Sports App, and Plus and YouTube TV area streaming services for this game. Announcing this game will be Joe Davis, Daryl Johnson, and Pam Oliver, Compass Media, Chris Cariano, and Brian Boldinger. As well, the weather for this game, let's just restart that. It's going to be, what is it called? Let's say 77 degrees, 9-mile-per-hour winds, a little bit humid, but it shouldn't be too bad for the Commanders and Eagles. Again, last year, you remember, 32-21 win for the Commanders back in Week 10. We'll see what happens this time. Let's get right into the Eagles. Commanders, my bad, starting lineup. Sam Howell, quarterback, Brian Robinson Jr. in the backfield, Anthony Gibson's also there. Chris Rodriguez Jr. is out. Dax Milne, Braden Daniels, F.A.O. Bada, Curtis Brooks, Fedarian Mathis, David Bada, Shaka Tony, Troy Apke, all on IR. Tam McLaurin, John Dotson, Curtis Samuel, receiver, Logan Thomas, John Bates, tight end, Charles Leonard Jr., Shaq Charles, Nick Gates, Sam Cosme, and Andrew Wiley across the offensive line. Chase Young will have to split off the edge with Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen up the middle. Kaliki Hudson, Cody Barnes, Jamie Davis at linebacker. Drew White is out. Kendall Fuller, Jertavius Martin, Amanda Forbes, and Benjamin St. Juste at corner. Percy Butler is questionable. Cameron Curl and Derek Forrest are the safeties. Joey Slice, their kicker. Their punters, Tress Wake. James McCrowder, their punter returner. Their kicker returner, Antonio Gibson. Cameron Cheeseman's their long snapper. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, Jalen Hurts quarterback, DeAndre Swift, Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, Rashad Penny in the backfield, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins is out, Olamide Zaccheaus also there, Dallas Goedert, Jack Stoll at tight end, Jerome Latta, Landry Dixon, Jason Kelsey, Cam Durkins, and Lane Johnson across the offensive line. Roderick Johnson is on IR, as well as Sean Bradley, Nakobe Dean, and Zach McPherson. Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, Josh Sweat off the edge with Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis at defensive tackle. Nicholas Moreau, Zach Cunningham, and Sonrag Nolan Smith also off the edge there. James Bradbury, Josh Jobe, Darius Slay, and Kelly Ringo at corner, with Sidney Brown being out, Reed Blankenship, Justin Evans also questionable. You could see Terrell Edmonds. Jake Elliott is your kicker. Your punter is Braden Mann. Brendan Covey is basically your both returners, but Boston Scott will probably do the kick returning. And Rick Lovato is the long snapper, with again Quez Watkins being out for this game. And for this Commanders offense, I want them to run the ball 40+ times, just with what this Eagles team is going to try to do and how they won last year. I really do think that this running game will be a big part of their success if they can't get that going. Sam's going to have to hit some shots off play action, specifically to the middle of the field. He really struggled with that last week. He's got to be able to hit those more consistently. 35+ minutes possession, I think, is probably the biggest thing, though, because if they don't have the ball that long, they're going to get crushed. And Terry McLaurin has to get 15+ targets because he is their best offensive weapon. He really hasn't gotten too much going yet. Defensively, they'll keep Jalen from extending plays in the pocket. That's what he was really deadly last week with that. Chase Young has 8+ pressures and 1.5+ sacks. Again, really hasn't played the Eagles in basically 2 years, so we'll see what he can do there. Keep Generous with under 4.5 yards per carry. I think that would be huge too. Again, he's played pretty well with that in the past, and under 20 points allowed is what I want to see from this Commanders defense as well. Time for the Eagles. All right, Eagles offensively, Jalen has to take care of the football for obvious reasons. Again, this Commanders, you don't want to have the ball too long as well as put too much on your defense. A.J. Brown 10+ targets, getting him back involved. DeAndre Swift also getting 15+ carries, I think, is paramount as well. Rashad Penny 5+ carries, just for the fact that I do think he'd be a really compliment, at least this week, against a defense he has been able to do some stuff against. And Lane Johnson 95% pass rush room weight, using finesse/drift steps to sustain the reps. Basically, every single block he isn't getting pushed back at all. Jalen doesn't have to adjust at all. And yeah, basically just making sure those edge runners' sign is on lockdown. Defensively, though, 15+ pressures in the first half, which is a ton, but I really do think if they can get that going, they will be able to have a lot of success. Corners should be foaming at the mouth on 3rd and 7+ long, because Sam Howell will make mistakes. Big play Slay on Scary Terry, shut him down, and don't let Bijan Robinson run wild. If he does get into the holes, he will make plays, and you just can't have that happen if you're the Eagles. So that's all I got there, guys. Let's get into the game of the week and the NFL on CBS. Can the Dolphins make it 4-0 after putting up 70 against the Broncos? We'll just have to wait and see because it's the NFL on CBS. Classic Dolphins and Bills. Yep, this is 3-0 Dolphins. Of course, the highest scoring offense, at least kind of so far in NFL history, of course. They had a huge week last week. Tua's looked awesome. Yeah, there's no other superlative other you can use is that this Dolphins offense has been relatively perfect this season. It's been really good. Defensively, it hasn't been great, but nevertheless, they are 3-0. Bills, on the other hand, of course, coming this one to 2-1. 2 wins against dominating wins against teams they should be dominating. And of course, they lost in week 1 against the Jets. Josh Allen's turnover and passing attempts will be something to watch in this game, of course. The game's at 1 o'clock on CBS, NO Plus, Paramount Plus against Fubo TV 2 are your streaming services for this game. Announcing this game will be, where is it? Oh, shoot, I forgot about the maps. There we go. Where's week 4? There we go. Sorry, I literally forgot about this, but yeah. So I'm just going to go through all this, basically, just because I kind of should. But either way, yeah, Baltimore, if you didn't know, sorry, this is just going to have to happen, but the blue is who's going to get this game. Obviously, it's going to be the Ravens and Browns game. It's going to be in this blue area, so basically all the D.C. area and Ohio. Denver is going to be all this yellow area, obviously. The Steelers and Texans game, it's not going to get too much country. That's going to be orange, so most of Texas, though, and again, like this area right here. And then Baltimore and the Dolphins and Bills also will get a lot of this games too, obviously. All this red. So, yeah, a lot of the country's getting this game because it is the NFL on CBS, obviously. Meanwhile, for the other 5 games here at 1 o'clock, again, the red, the national game. Actually, not too much of the country's getting this game as, like, relatively for it being the NFL doubleheader game. But, yeah, it's a good amount of the country. Bengals and Titans, obviously, it's really a good sliver here. Rams and Colts, I think the number 2 game, but a lot of the whole West Coast is getting this one as well as, again, this big chunk in the Midwest. Yeah, a lot of the Southeast is getting the Bucs and Saints, and then the orange is all the Northwest stuff, like not the Northwest, the North Midwest. A lot of that's getting this game, and then also going to the Northwest. So yeah, that's what's getting this game. Again, announcing this game is, where is it? If I can get to it. Yeah, Jim Nance, Sonny Romo, Tracy Wilson, Sports US Radio, John Allers, and Brandon Noble will be on the call for this game. Hope you guys enjoy it. Obviously, the weather as well. It's going to be, again, most of these, it's going to be a pretty beautiful day across the NFL. Again, 74 degrees, 6-mile-per-hour winds, a little bit humid, but yeah, should be an electric atmosphere for the Bills, who have beat the Dolphins at home every single year since Tua Tagovailoa has come their quarterback, and also won 9 of the last 10 under Josh Allen. And for the Dolphins, Tua at quarterback, Raheem Mostert, Divine Nation in the backfield, Salvin Ahmed is questionable. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Braxton Berrios, receiver, River Craycraft, Robert Jones, Zeke Vandenberg, all on IR. It's called Durham Smythe, Tyler Croft, tight end. Urzik Azugmaka is out. Alec Ingold, the fullback. Teron Armstead is questionable. Kenneth Lamb will probably start. We'll have to wait and see, though. Isaiah Wynn. Connor Williams, questionable. Liam Eichenberg, again, we'll see. Robert Hunt, Austin Jackson across the offensive line as well. Christian Wilkins, Raekwon Davis, Zach Sealer across the defensive line. Jalen Phillips is out. Emmanuel Ogba might start there. David Long Jr., Jerome Baker, and Bradley Chubb at basically across the linebacker core. Xavier Howard, Justin Bethel, Cam Smith, and Cater KO at corner, with Deshaun Elliott being questionable. Javon Holland also there, and Brandon Jones also at safety. Jason Sanders is your kicker. Your punter is Jake Bailey. Braxton Berrios is your returner, and Blake Ferguson is the long snapper. And for Buffalo, Josh Allen at quarterback, James Cook in the backfield as well as Latavius Murray, Naheem Hines, of course, yeah. Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, Trent Sherfield, receiver, Deontay Hardy, Khalil Shakir also there, Justin Shorter, Zach Davidson, Tommy Doyle, and Balen Spector all on IR. Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, tight end, Reggie Gilliam is the fullback, Deion Dawkins, Connor McGovern, Mitch Morris, Osiris Torrance, and Spencer Brown across the offensive line, Greg Rousseau, AJ Epineza, Shaq Lawson, and Leonard falling off the edge. Again, Von Miller still out. Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, the defensive tackle, with Tyrell Dodson, Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano at linebacker, with Tre'Davious White, Teron Johnson, Dane Jackson, and Christian Benford being a corner. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer is out. We will see Taylor Lapp, maybe even DeMar Hamlin. Tyler Bass, Sam Martin, the kicker and punter. Deontay Hardy is your returner, and Reed Ferguson is your long snapper. What I want to see from this Dolphins offense is to continue to feed the running backs. Obviously, those two guys had a huge week last week, and I think that will be a big success for them this week. Make sure to have at least take one shot over the middle with Jalen Waddle. He's back. Get him the ball there. He can just basically make a big play. And keep Tyreek Hill involved, even if he's not getting the same looks he usually gets just because of the coverage he's getting. In no long yardage situations, as Tua has struggled in, when that happens against the Bills. Again, 30% bad throw percentage when under pressure at a 25% average clip in Buffalo. It's not been good when he's played there. Let me just put it like that. And last year a little better, but still not that great. Dolphins even forced Ken Dorsey to call more than 40 attempts for Josh Allen through the air. You want to give him those situations where you can't just run the football. Keep James Cook in the 5 to 6 yard contain area. What I mean by that is basically if he gets a hole, it can't be more than that, like 5 to 6 yards. If he gets a bigger run than that, you'll have problems. And again, between the numbers, obviously. Puts David Long on 3rd and short. Again, he's been really good with that so far this year. Keep doing it, and no big plays against. If they get if the Bills start getting big plays, it could be problematic. Time for the Bills now. I think this Bills offense needs to run the ball a ton and have the ball a long time, which is something that doesn't seem like that crazy for the Bills. But if you look at how this Dolphins offense has performed so far this year, it's critical that they do this. Yeah, it's going to be a ton if they can do this. That would be crazy. Josh is going to have to unload a bomb in the 4th quarter one way or another. He's going to have to take a shot. It's going to have to happen. And a goose egg in the turnover column would be huge as well. Defensively, no big plays. Everything in front of you in relation to Tyreek. Don't let him get over the top. Trying to take the New England thing. Compete at the line against athletic tackles and Austin Jackson, not Robert Hunt. He's basically a guard. But yeah, just make sure you're good with them, because if they start moving around a lot, that'll be really hard to stop. Now let's talk about the next game, Raiders and Chargers. Yeah, the Raiders make their annual trip to SoFi Stadium, in which they play the Chargers. Of course, this is the only game though late afternoon regional window like last week. But the Raiders, of course, coming in off of another tough loss. Again, Josh McDaniels can't do math against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, they are now 1-2. Getting up dominated Buffalo the week before. They're looking to get a bounce back win. They are still 1-0 in the division, though, so they can't get salvage the season so far. Chargers, of course, got a desperate win where they should have lost, but they figured it out. And Brandon Staley saved himself another week from being fired. But yeah, again, these teams played last year in Week 1. Actually, Chargers have had some success here at SoFi versus the Raiders. We don't talk about 2020, but again, 2021 they dominated in 28-14, impressive win to make the Raiders not undefeated anymore. Then obviously they won last year too. So yeah, like again, Derek Carr 3 interceptions. But the game's 4:05 on CBS, NFL Plus, Paramount Plus, Fubo TV, whatever, and then NFL Ticket are your streaming services for this game. Announcing this game will be Kevin Harlan, Trent Green, and Melanie Collins. Sports US Radio, Larry Kahn, and Doug Plank. The map for this as well, it's in green. Basically, most of the West Coast. Again, you get this western sliver as well. So yeah, a good decent part of the country is getting this game. Also part of New Jersey for whatever reason. But yeah, that's basically the gist of what's getting this game. Again, it's at 4:05. Just stay tuned for that. So it might sneak up on you as the early window comes to a close. Now let's get right into the Raiders starting lineup. For the Raiders, Jimmy G will be out for this game, so we will see Brian Hoyer and Aiden O'Connell even probably. Josh Jacobs, Demir went back with Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Hunter Renfrow, receiver, Austin Hooper, Michael Mayer, tight end, Jacob Johnson is the fullback, Colin Miller, Dylan Parham, Andre James Gray, Van Roten, and Jermaine Lumore across the defensive line, Dolan Wagner, Curtis Bolton, Darren Bell, and Brandon Faison all on IR. Max Crosby is questionable, Tyree Wilson might start, and then Malcolm Kuntz will again is questionable. Blake Reed might be there as well. Devon Diablo, Robert Flint, Isaacs, Rochelle at linebacker. Nate Hobbs is questionable as well as Roderick Cheemer. Ja'Cory Bennett, David Long Jr., and Marcus Peters are the healthy corners, though. Terrell Murray and Marcus Epps are the safeties. Daniel Carlson is their kicker. AJ Coles, their punter. Gianna Carter is the returner. And Jacob Bobbin Moyer is the long snapper. And for the Chargers, Justin Herbert at quarterback. Austin Eckler is doubtful, so Joshua Kelly and Isaiah Spiller in the backfield. Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer, Quentin Johnson, a receiver. Jalen Guyton is out. Mike Williams is on IR, as well as Andrew Traynor. Amiki Uzudio is also on air. Gerald Everett, Don Palmer Jr. at tight end. Deshaun Slater, Zion Johnson will clap. Jamari Sallier and Trey Pickens the third across the offensive line. Corey Linsley is out for this game. Nick Williams, Sebastian Joseph Day, Austin Jackson are the defensive linemen. Odio Ogmania is out. Joey DeBosa is doubtful. So Tuli Tupelotu, Christian Robb, and Clelin Mack will get all the reps, as well as Kenneth Murray Jr., Eric Kendricks at linebacker. Michael Davis, Jasiri Taylor, and Sanjay Samuel Jr. all healthy though. De'Arn Leonard, whatever, is doubtful. JT Woods is also out. Derwin James Jr. is doubtful. So D. Marlowe and Raheem Lane will probably get some playing time, as well as Aloha Young being questionable. Cameron Dicker, the kicker, is your kicker. Your punter is J.K. Scott. Darius Davis is your returner, and Josh Harris is your long snapper. Raiders offensively, Jimmy G I don't even know what to say. Figure out the run game. That's been so terrible. At least the inside zone has had some potential, so maybe use that. And obviously 10 plus targets for Devontae Adams because he's really your only hope right now. Defensively, no. Don't let Keaton get a free release off the line. You saw what happened last week. He basically was open every single play. Samples pressure from Max Crosby and Tyree Wilson on third down. Basically just Tyree Wilson. He's got to really step up in this game. Nate Hobbs can't give you a bum. If he plays, I guess he's not a bum. And Triple Murray, 5 plus tackles in the second half. He's going to have to play out of his mind. Time for the Chargers. Yeah, there's no excuse if the Chargers lose this game. But yeah, Keenan Allen getting 12 plus targets, I think, is a big part of that, how that'll work out. The run game has to be more efficient. It wasn't great last week, especially, again, without Austin Eckler. It's been tough. But at least if they can be, again, a little more consistent, that would be big. Let's see the Herbert heat. Let's see some bombs. And Rashawn Slater, 100% pass rush win rate, which is crazy, but he was very close last week, at least when he wasn't against Indiana Hunter. Defensively, J.C. Jackson has to get benched if he gives up another big play. He probably will. Derwin needs to get in rhythm in relation to the run game. He wasn't like that the past couple weeks. If he doesn't play, I mean, there's nothing I can say about that. And Kenneth Murray, 10 plus tackles, I think, again, he has to keep getting involved. He's been a big part of this defense so far this year. Now let's get to a very surprising game, Cardinals at 49ers. I really didn't expect much out of this, but who knows what will happen. Yeah, the Cardinals traveled to San Francisco for a big-time matchup against the 49ers. Really prove who the heck they are again. Cardinals started out 0-2 with two, I wouldn't say heartbreaking losses, but bizarre losses to the Commanders and Giants. And last week they blew out the Cowboys. Yes, no one expected that, but they were able to do it. For a team that's supposed to be tanking, they're not really tanking right now. 49ers, on the other hand, again, to come in at 3-0, they're probably the most consistent team so far this year. I won't say a scare, but they had a little bit of a challenge against the Rams, but outside of that, they've been basically A-okay. But yeah, of course, these teams played last year in Week 18. The 49ers basically just absolutely took a hammer to them. But then again, the Cardinals did blow them out back in 2021. So you really don't know what to expect here. Again, the Cardinals went 2 out of the last 3 matchups here as well. So at least they're competitive here as well. Yeah, the game's at 4:25 on Fox Sports. Fox, again, Fox Sports app, NFL Plus, and YouTube TV are your streaming service for this game. Again, it's a compliment to America's Game of the Week. It's not exactly America's Game of the Week. But either way, though, Kevin Kluger, Mark Sanchez, Laura Oakman on the call for this game. So it's at least like a respectable game. Again, most of the West Coast is getting this game as well. It's, again, a little sliver here. So that's what we get in the game. Again, the weather basically perfect in San Francisco. Can't really ask for much better. Yeah, it's really nice there. Time for the Cardinals starting lineup. Cardinals have Josh Dobbs starting. Kyler Murray, Style, Anthony Ingram is questionable, but James Conner's also there. Marquise Brown's questionable. Zach Pascal probably get more playing time. Ronald Moore and Michael Wilson also receiver. Those Zach Ertz, Trey McBride at tight end. G. Humphries, Elijah Wilkinson, Elijah Frolot, Will Hernandez, Paris Johnson Jr. is questionable. Kevin Beecham behind him. Dennis Ely, Pat Elflein, John Gaines all on IR. Simon Collins, Jonathan Ledbetter, Carlos Watkins also on IR, as well as Margie Sanders, Jonathan, and Buda Baker. So we'll probably see a lot of Rory Lopez, Lee Fotu also there, in Kevin Strong and Dante Stills. Josh Woods, the starting linebacker, is out, so we'll probably see Chris Barnes, but again, he's questionable. Zico Turner, maybe. Chris White, Kaiser White, and Dennis Carter are the other linebackers as well, but Kenneth Carter is big. Bet this bona fide edge rusher. Keetrell Clarkson, good, as well as Marco Wilson and Anthony Hamilton Sr., Garrett Williams is out. Christian Matthews is also there. Jalen Thompson and Kevon Wallace at corner with safety. Matt Prater is their kicker. Their punter is Nolan Cooney. Greg Dortch is the returner with Aaron Brewer at long snapper. Matt Hembro is on air. The 49ers back Purdy, quarterback Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. Elijah Mitchell is questionable. Deebo Samuel and Dwan Jennings are both not probable to play, but Brian McLeod and Willie Snead and Ronnie Bell are also receiver. Danny Gray, Robert Beal Jr., and Samuel Womack III are on IR. George Kittle, Charlie Warner, tight end Kyle Juszczyk is your fullback. Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, Jake Brendo, Spencer Burford, Coleman F. Caves across the offensive line. Keelan Farrell, Drake Jackson, Nick Bosa, Kerry Hyder Jr. across the edge rushing group, Javon Hargrave and Eric Armstead are the defensive tackles, with Drake Greenland being questionable, D. Winters, and Dimitri Finnegan Flowers is also questionable. Fred Lorne, Oren Brooks across the defensive line. Linebacker core. Javarius Ward, Isaiah Oliver, Ambry Thomas, and Diameter Lenore at corner, with Tayshon Gibson Sr. to Lenovo at safety. Jake Moody is your kicker. Your punter is Mitch Wisnowski. Ray McLeod III is your returner, and Tabor Pepper is your long snapper. Oh yeah, Darrell Letter Jr. is also out. Alright, Cardinals offensively, Josh Dobbs, 5+ scrambles. I want to see him get out to the pocket and make some plays. 200+ rushing yards on 40+ attempts, 4.7+ yards per carry. That's not going to be very easy to do against this 49ers defense, but if they really get a dominating rushing game going, they'll have a shot. And then Josh Dobbs has to find someone deep, even if it's not Marquise Brown, because again, he might not play. Cardinals defense, under 30 points, you got a chance, because the 49ers scored 30 points exactly every single week of the season. That's what I got. Time for the 49ers now. And for San Fran, you'll find a way to score exactly 30. Again, they'll just do it. Debo, 15+ touches as well. He looked really electric last week. CMC under 20. Don't want to overuse him in this game. And Brock has to have 40+ air yards on one completion. I just want to see him unload one. Defensively, though, Fred Warner really just has to be disciplined and in gap sound. Like, there's nothing much more to it. The running game isn't that crazy. At least it could be, but yeah, it's not gonna be that. Again, he's just gotta stay again in his role. Nick has to be patient and anticipating boots. If he's not able to do that, there could be some. Again, he will probably get exposed at least a couple times, because again, the one thing about him, he's a little over aggressive time. And Drake Jackson has to bounce back. He was pretty bad last week with the 70% pass 70% block shed win rate. Again, that's basically against the run. So okay, for now let's get to the actual America's game of the week: Patriots and Cowboys. If you don't remember, back in 2019, this was probably the most hyped game of the year. Yeah, but maybe not as much anymore. But dang, this is a good game. They've had some really good matchups over the years. Patriots and Cowboys. Yeah, two most popular teams in the league. Yep, it's a really boring 1-2 Patriots against the 2-1 Cowboys looking to bounce back on America's Game of the Week. Of course, back in these teams who played back in 2021, they played. I think it was Week 6. Patriots fell to 2-4 with that overtime loss to the Cowboys. It was a crazy game, but yeah, now they play here in Dallas for the first time since, what was it, 2015. It's been like 8 years. It's been a really long time. Of course, these teams also played back in 2019. Patriots blew the doors on, well, not really, but they dominated the Cowboys, 13-9, at least on defense. So, see what happens this year. Of course, Patriots have had a sluggish start to the season, but they were able to win last week against the lowly Jets team. Meanwhile, the Cowboys, again, got shocked last week in Arizona. They're going to show that last week was a fluke. Against 425 again on Fox. It is America's Game of the Week as well. Fox Sports app, Fubo, NFL Plus, YouTube TV, whatever you want to call it. That's what's getting this game. Game breaks show, I think it's at 4 o'clock as well. KB, Greg Olsen, Aaron Andrews, Tom Rinaldi on the call for America's Game of the Week as well. You look at, yeah, the whole country's getting this game. I mean, it's the game of the week. I don't know what else you would expect. It's a huge game, though. Patriots and Cowboys. A lot of trap going around. We'll see what happens, though. Time for the Patriots starting lineup. If the Patriots, Mac Jones, quarterback, Bailey Zappi is his backup, Ronner Stevenson, Zeke Elliott in the backfield, Devontae Parker, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Kenneth Bourne, receiver, Tyquan Thorne, Trey Nixon, Riley Reef, Daniel Agukeke, Rickon McMillan, Terez Hall, Marcus Jones, Isaiah Bolden, Jack Jones, Marcus Jones, all on IR. What is it called? that's a lot of guys. Hunter Renfrow, Mike Gesicki at tight end. Trent Brown, Cole Strange is out. Atani Mathe as well as there. David Andrews, Mike Onwenu, Vidarian Lowe across the offensive line. DJ Quash Jr., Devon Gotcha is questionable. Christian Barmore is also questionable. Lawrence Guy is also, senior is also there. Trey Flowers is out. Matt Judon, Juwan Bentley, Giovanni Tavai at linebacker with Josh Uche also off the edge, is in and Freddie Jenkins. Jonathan Jones is out. Joe Mills will probably start as well as Miles Bryant, Christian Gonzalez. Sean Wade is questionable as well. Kyle Duggar, Jabril Peppers are the kicker, are the safeties. My bad. Chad Allen is their kicker. Their punter is Ryan Behringer, Ty Montgomery, and Miles Bryant at the returner positions with Joe Cardona doing the long snapping. Alright, for Dak, in the Cowboys, of course, he's the quarterback. Tony Pollard, Rico Dowdle in the backfield. David Durden, Josh Ball, Matt Wajiko, Nashawn Wright, Trayvon Diggs, DeMarvin Overshawn are all on IR. CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup, a receiver. Jake Ferguson, Payne Henderson is questionable. Luke Schumacher will get more playing time. Hunter Lubick, he's the fullback. Tyron Smith is out. Chu Maduga will probably start. Taylor Smith, and then Tyler Bianis and Zach Martin is questionable. Brock Hoffman, TJ Baxter, their backups. So Terrence Steele, right tackle. DeMarcus Lawrence, Dorrance Armstrong, Jonathan Taylor Jr. off the edge. Jonathan Higgins, Ozo Odigizua, there as well. Michael Parsons will be playing the sub position, of course, with DeMarvin Overshawn struggling last week as well. Whoever was playing that. Damon Clark, LVE at linebacker as well. Stephon Gilmore, Jordan Lewis, Noah Igbinaki, and Deron Bland at corner with Donovan Wilson, Jaron Chris doing the safety positions. Obviously, Brandon Aubrey, Brian Anchor are your kickers and punters. DeMonte Turpin is your returner, and Trent Sieg is your long snapper. And for the Patriots, 35-plus runs of over 5 yards per carry, which is a lot, but I really think this run game has to, basically just explode on the scene if they want to win this game. Mac has to take 3-plus shots on second down. The reason it's on second down is because this secondary has really been not very, in tune on second down, at least so far this year. That's where I think they'll get him. And again, some yak plays for Devontae Parker, because he is really the most explosive player right now, at least on paper. Defensively, competing man-to-man with CeeDee Lamb for Christian Gonzalez, good tackling and jumping balls, jumping bad cells in breakers. Again, CeeDee Lamb has not really been the best route runner this year. Again, he never really has been the best guy, but this year for sure. So Christian Gonzalez is probably a little more aggressive there. And then force Dak to throw over the middle to Jake Ferguson, and because that's just not going to end well. And then no Big Tony long runs, because if Big Tony gets going, you're not going to stop him. Time for the Cowboys. Alright, now let's see this Cowboys offense is 19-plus first downs by the third quarter. 80+% red zone percentage as well. They got to be better in a lot better in the red zone this week. And Dak has to be able to extend plays on second down after the receivers will eventually separate. Again, he's got to make those throws. Defensively, over disguise and man, which is never a good thing, but especially against a quarterback like Mac Jones, it'll work out. Fit the Zeke run packages by having Micah play 5-tech or maybe even 3-tech if the moment call for it on the opposite or weak side of DeMarcus Lawrence, because again, he is one of the best 3-tech what is called run defenders I've seen in a long time. So yeah, if they get that going, they'll really stop Zeke in those between the tackle run game. So I'll go for the Cowboys. Now let's get to Sunday Night Football. Can the Chiefs make it 3 straight? And yeah, they're playing the Jets. This should be just as bad as it was back in 2020. I mean, this is a bad game. And of course, the Chiefs and Jets will be playing on Sunday night this year. Chiefs, of course, coming in off of a blowout win against the Bears. They look like they're back. They're playing another team that isn't very good in the Jets. Of course, this game was supposed to be the what's called State Farm Bowl, but we tried to see this game 3 times, and what happens? Every single time, something crazy happens. I don't think this matchup will ever happen. Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes, but this just freaking sucks. In 2019, the ankle with Patrick Mahomes. In 2021, Aaron Rodgers gets COVID, so it's been a mess with these 2 teams playing against each other. Obviously, the Jets the doors blown off them against the Chiefs back in 2020, 35-9 win for the Chiefs. They're huge betting favorites, and yeah, Mahomes threw 5 touchdowns. It was business as usual, but Jets, they're coming as one, of course, back-to-back losses. Their offense has been just completely lost. They're looking to do something, at least in this game. Probably not going to be very close. We'll have to wait and see, though. It's on against Sunday Night Football, so 8:20 on NBC Universal. Can football there? America starts at 7 o'clock Eastern on NBC Sports app, Fubo, NFL Plus, Peacock, and YouTube TV are getting the streaming services for this game. More or less Peacock, though. And as well, Sunday Night Final is also on Peacock after the game if you want to hear some recap shenanigans about this thing. As well, announcing this game, as usual, will be Mike Tirico, Chris Connors with Melissa Stark, Westwood One, Ryan Rajic, and Jason McWhorter on the call. East Rutherford weather is going to be probably, again, it's gonna be nice weather. It's normal, like clear skies. It's going to be a really nice day tomorrow across the league. There's really nothing notable about it. Let's get into the Chiefs starting lineup. For the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, quarterback, Blaine Gabbert is back of Isaac Pacheco, Jerick McKinnon back for the MVS, Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, a receiver, Georgie James, Nico Remigio, Jody Fortson, Prince Tiga Wangawo, Nazeeh Johnson, and Charles Omenihu also all on IR. Travis Kelce, Noah Gray at tight end, Don Smith, Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, Trace Smith, and Jawan Taylor across the offensive line. George Karlaftis, Derek Nottie, Chris Jones, Mike Dan across the defensive line. Willie Gay, Nick Mullins out. Jack Cochran, probably more likely Drew Tranquil will start though. Leo Chanel also a linebacker. Legarius Sneed, Josh Williams, Jeffrey Corner with Jalen Watson out. Brian Cook, Justin Reed are the safeties with Harrison Bucker at kicker, Tommy Townsend at punter, Montre Washington a returner, and James Winchester a long snapper. For the Jets, Zach Wilson, cornerback, Aaron Rodgers again is on IR, Kenny Yubata, or Yuboa, whatever, Dwayne Brown, Carter Warren, Fedi Odiingbo, Bradley Anai, Malik Hall, Hassan Nasirdaline, Chuck Larkin, Javel Goodry, all on IR, Goodry, whatever, Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook, and Michael Carter in the backfield, Garrett Wilson, Al Lazard, Ronald Cobb receiver, Tyler Conklin, CJ Uzomah tight end, Nick Bowden is the fullback, Mekhi Becton, Lincoln Thomason, Connor McGovern, Joe Tippmann, Elijah Vera Tucker across the offensive line, Wes Schweitzer is out, John Franklin Myers, Quinn Jefferson, Quinn Williams, Jermaine Johnson, Carl Lawson, Bryce Huff off the edge, with Jermaine Sherwood, CJ Mosley, and Quincy Williams at linebacker, Sauce Gardner, Michael Carter II, and DJ Reed at corner. Tony Adams is out, Adrian Amos will probably start, and Jordan Whitehead at safety as well. Greg Zerline is your kicker, your punter is Thomas Morstead, David Gibson's your returner, and Thomas Hennessy's your long snapper. Alright, wrapping up the NFL Week 4 Sunday preview with the Chiefs and again the Jets keys to the game. First off, the Chiefs double Mahomes, I think, yeah, 4+ touchdowns. I want to see if we can do that. Travis has to have a big play to end the first half. That would just be a great way to end it. And then Isaiah Pacheco, 15+ carries in the first half. Get him the football. Again, that's kind of going hand in hand with Patrick Mahomes, whatever. Red zone crap. That's what I got for that. Chiefs defense, make Zach beat you. Again, that's kind of very simple. If he can't make any throws against you, you'll be fine. No Breece and Dalvin Cook long runs. That's really how the Bills lost that game. Kind of, that's the truth. And frustrates Garrett Wilson by making him turn his routes under vertical to create space because he knows better than everyone. Zach Wilson either won't have time to make the throw or he simply won't make the throw for that. Time for the Jets finally. Yep, the Jets, Zach has to show up in some form, 200+ yards, 2+ touchdowns, 60+ completion percentage, no turnovers. No turnovers, I think, is probably the most shocking thing if he can do that, but he's got to at least show up if they want to have any shot at beating the Chiefs. Jets defense, keep your offense in the game until at least the half. Blitz Mahomes on 3rd and long, which doesn't sound like a good idea, but I don't really know if receiver can throw to at least yet. John Franklin Myers, 2+ sacks. Which is just absolutely ludicrous, but I really do think he's going to have to play out of his freaking mind if they want any shot at winning this football game. Anyway, that's all I got for the NFL Week 4 Sunday preview again. Hope you guys enjoyed the NFL Toy Story, Fun Day Football, whatever you want to call it, game. And yeah, again, first international game of the year. I'm really stoked for that. Again, my Rams play as well. So yeah, great Sunday. Hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, see ya for the recap and more or less probably the Monday night preview.
Time. Deep. Oh, he's got Waddle! Inside the 10! To the 7! 45 yards!
Waddle's going to be to the right. It's cover 2. What you can't see is the receiver in the middle of the field from the left. Looks like Tyreek Hill over on the left. He's